You don't want to get caught simping for a hoe. No, for real, man, it's better to be single than to be in a relationship with the wrong girl. Here are 3 ways to tell that she is not girlfriend material. If she's your only option, then chances are she's not girlfriend material, because if we only have one option, we're afraid of being lonely, so we're gonna look past red flags and ignore red flags just because we want it to work with this girl. We don't want to be alone.
Number 2, she is codependent, aka needy. Now I get it, at first it seems great because she's giving you all this validation, this attention, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up isolating with her, or you're gonna end up resenting her because she's putting all her energy into you and not letting you have anything else.
And number 3, she does not do well with your friends. I had a past girlfriend that whenever I tried to hang out with her and my friends, it was kind of awkward, and that caused me to isolate with her a lot. That's not something that's going to be healthy for your life long term. You want a girl who's easy to socialize and meet other people.
Minor red flags. Again, this is continuing the series part 2. This is a research-backed list of red flags to watch out for when you're dating women. You might be able to negotiate around these if she has a lot of other good qualities, or maybe these are things she's working on, but in general, stay away. She has social media, but fewer followers and fewer no TNA pics. She drinks and parties, although no evidence of an actual problem with drinking. Has trouble accepting responsibility or accountability. Nobody trusts her in either her friends, family, colleagues, or people she's dated. She has more male friends than female friends. She's had 6 or more partners. Yes, that's true. Research finding. Divorced parents or family members and friends. No professional career or hobby, direction, or major hobby she is pursuing to improve in. She has no track record of adherence to difficult schedule of improvement, such as sports, foreign language, music, or arts. She is politically liberal. That is your list of minor red flags, things to watch out for.
The 3 kinds of women you should avoid dating. You should keep your distance from them. Therefore, the first kind of woman is the one you should avoid at all costs since, in my experience, she is definitely the most dangerous. The one who has father issues. These women with father issues who grew up without a strong male role model in the house are an absolute issue. The father may have simply been a piece of furniture in the home, sitting around without ever engaging his daughters. Thus, this does not necessarily imply that he was or was not at home. Or he might have been one of those absent-minded fathers who was divorced, constantly on the road, or whatever. However, it goes beyond just spending time with the young girls. It basically involves getting them involved in activities and showing the girls what males are worth so they can develop into strong, intelligent, and emotionally stable women. You are strong, an alpha guy, and a certain type of personality if you are an entrepreneur. In general, you don't listen to a lot of chatter. You should be aware that if you're that kind of guy, you need a woman who will appreciate and value you. Respect a man's traits like that. Additionally, if a girl or woman grew up in a home without a positive male role model, not even necessary to be the father, a grandfather or an uncle could be the person. Sometimes a father dies, or something causes a woman to become widowed. As long as there is a strong male role model in that home, I'm not referring to who taught her what a man should be. Running, drinking beer, clutching his nuts, and other such antics. I'm referring to being able to sit this young girl down, play with her, chat to her, take her places, and have daddy-daughter events and nights, among other things. One of the first things I do when I meet a new lady or start dating her is to inquire about her relationship with her parents. Namely, whether it was good or negative. Large, enormous red flags. Simply said, it's better not to date a woman with daddy issues. They may not always be obvious, but if you inquire about their childhood memories and the nature of their relationships with their parents, she will undoubtedly bring up her father. And you're going to start hearing about those tales and the recurring patterns, so pay attention. Keep a keen ear out. Any parent that is the opposite sex from the girl will usually cause problems if the girl has daddy issues. So once more, regardless of the parent's gender, females will always be male. If they have unresolved difficulties with love, desire, or needs of that sort, they may try to make amends with the man in their lives right now. So even though you might be a fantastic guy, she might not have had a good father. When there is actually nothing that needs to be resolved, and she believes the problem is in her brain, she will frequently try to reconcile or settle those difficulties on you. Another possibility is that they won't generally value what you contribute to the table. You're a successful man. If you offer a ton of value to the table, it doesn't matter if you are the firstborn, the alpha, or an entrepreneur. You get things done. They don't value it if they didn't grow up in a home with a guy like that around. They are unconcerned. Simply put, nobody cares. She won't value your efforts since she didn't value them as a child, despite the fact that you may have worked hard to achieve your goals or get where you are in life. Why would a grown lady value it? She doesn't see the value and strength you bring to the table, which might lead to circumstances where it's all about her. Man will therefore not be a priority for her as an adult, even if he was an option for her when she was a child. She will have him as a choice then, and she has a tendency to leave if something doesn't suit her needs at the time, or she doesn't like it. So once more, this is just an easier way to live. My suggestion is to not even waste your time if you see a woman who has father issues. Now, the one caution I must issue is to not conflate fathers who are ified with women who have had strong male role models in their lives. And by that I mean that there are women today who are out and about who had fathers' lives, but you can tell in maturity that they have been serving them all their lives. And what it appears to be is this: Daddy, I have to move something in my house, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. He'll stop what he's doing, go to her house, start moving things about, serve her, paint walls, hang chandeliers, and do all kinds of weird things constantly. And she's going to look to you as a man for that gentle fatherly behavior. She will stay with the man she is dating or otherwise spending time with. You will go out of your way to please her. She had that experience after all. So that's the one thing to watch out for. She might wind up with a father who is totally ified and will always go out of his way to help. The following type of woman is one you should attempt to avoid. The person in position 2 wants to be saved, rescued, supported, or whatever else you choose to call it. There are women, and I don't understand why, because it seems like feminism very recently emerged in the 1960s, 1970s, or whatever it was. Women still want to be independent, or at least appear to be independent, in the environment we live in today. However, people choose for themselves in life what they should and shouldn't do. I want to have rights, the ability to vote, equal pay, and other things like that. I have no problem with that and absolutely support it. Having a daughter, I understand. However, they say, oh, that's okay, when it comes to other things, such as occasionally picking up the check when you go out to eat. Due to the fact that I have this stuff here and get to be a lady, I don't want to deal with that nonsense. Get served. If they're the kind of women who need snow tires or to have their driveway plowed for them, it may become even worse. You're essentially dumping cash on them as though you had to help or save them. And it wasn't until recently that I truly grasped this idea. At a gathering in Cobble Street, Lucas, Mexico, I met a guy. We had a conversation over dinner when we were playing off-road dune bug with some other business people, and he was telling me about his experience with his current. He told me that he is married to his second wife, and that he became weary of dating women who needed to be saved while he was in his late 30s and early 40s. I was unable to interpret what that meant. I believe I was married at the time, but I later realized, as I have since becoming single and entering the dating scene in recent years, that there is a group of women who are searching for males to take care of their arses. Additionally, women don't grow, generate interest, or increase in perpetuity like money does, so if they reach the point where they can no longer support themselves and are relying to a man to save them and take care of them, that's just a liability. Both men and women ought to be capable of standing by themselves. Pigeons, or whatever you choose to name them, shouldn't require support from others. They ought to be capable of caring for themselves. Avoid women like these at all costs. They are only going to milk. Signals, and you are dry, is when they begin discussing their past romantic connections with other men. If they begin requesting gifts within the first month or so, if they are short on cash, if they never volunteer to pay for a meal, and other similar situations, stay far away from women who need to be saved if they are self-centered and only interested in themselves. Okay, finally, the third sort of women you should avoid are those that are constantly battling with their ex-boyfriends. Also, money. Mothers have kids. Divorce and separation are commonplace in our society, and I simply don't comprehend it. Unless the father is a complete degenerate, a deadbeat, a criminal, or anything else, there is absolutely no reason why there should be a legal dispute over custody, which is really just about money, child support, and other things of that sort. A child needs equal exposure to both parents, male and female. If there isn't a shared parenting schedule, if the child spends most of the time with one parent, and if the father then gets screwed over every other weekend, or something similar, then all the time and money goes to the woman. And the man ends up wasting a lot of money and resources because he has little control over or exposure to his children. Therefore, first and foremost, avoid separated women if you come across a single woman who has recently been divorced. They only cause problems. However, they haven't yet made peace with their divorces. You don't need that if you run into a woman who is battling with her ex over money, custody, support, and other issues all the time and has a child. There are many women in the world who, despite having children, are in a good place with their ex and share parenting responsibilities. Children should be with the other parent if there are any in the image. When does it leave you time to go out with her? As seen from your perspective, is the other issue. It won't happen if she is always caring for her children. Or sometimes you become the surrogate father, raising these kids. Or you don't need to support them because they didn't come out of your balls. A father who takes care of them should be present. Therefore, stay away from women who are in continual conflict with the ex over money, child support, or custody. This concludes the video, gentlemen. Tell them about it if you know someone who would benefit from it. There is always someone out there who could be experiencing something similar. By understanding these lessons, you can spare them a lot of suffering and time. Although I wish I had known this information 10, 15, or more years ago. Such is life.